Hey, happy Monday, Facebook. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm getting ready to rock some podcasts for this week. And remember, you get 3 this week, 3 days in a row, Wednesday. You actually get 4 this week because you had today.
That's right.
Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
So sorry.
And I would like to send a huge thank you. Well, we're getting started here, huh?
To Mike.
No, not to
being awesome.
No. To listener Justin, who sent me this postcard with signatures from Rapunzel and Princess Tiana for my birthday.
Yeah, that's
so
sweet.
Thank you. It's awesome. I love it. So
rock.
Thank you.
Dang,
you may or may not have a postcard as well that is in my possession, and I will give it to you when I see you next.
I'll tell you, because if it's sent to my house, who knows where it is right now?
I have it, yes, because I knew you were moving, and I'm like, I don't know Mike's address now, so I'll just get it to
I haven't even got to our mailbox yet at this house.
I'll just get it to Mike when I see him next. But I just wanted to say thank you to Justin for sending me the postcard, and Mike too, but he doesn't have his yet. So
thank you very much. It's so funny because I'm just excited that I know that the trash day is tomorrow. Actually, in Peters, we get trash 2 days a week.
That's weird.
Fridays. How cool is that?
That's a lot of trash.
An old man. I'm excited that we get trash 2 days a week.
Yeah. Are you providing that much trash that you need it 2 days a week?
Right now we are. You see
that's true. Yeah. Okay. Good point.
We just took up like 70 boxes to the recycling place.
Yeah. Good point.
Dude, I have a lid on, people.
Yeah. He's totally got a hat on.
Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
Nike hat.
Oh, I think he means me.
I know.
Yeah, no hat for me today. I could put on some ears that I bought yesterday or this weekend at the outlets that I got for $5. Official Disney ears. I was mad. They had some of the not the Briar Rose ones, but the rose gold. They had some of the rose gold ones, and I was gonna buy them, but they were not on clearance. They were only, like $19.95, and I'm like, oh no, thank you, I'm not buying those.
Joanne gets trash 3 days a week.
Wow,
that's a lot of trash. Like 2 days a week, pretty much.
That's cool. A lot.
Yeah, I'm going to be hustling in my new Taco Bell right now.
There you go.
It's closer than my old one was. So, but I've never had it once. I haven't gone there yet. Paige went and picked it up for me the first time. So
that was nice.
I got to meet my Taco Bell people tonight.
That was nice of her.
I'm nervous. It's like a first date. But yes, I will be seeing you more than you'll probably see your family.
If this is like a first date for you, good Lord.
Like, hi, Taco Bell person in the drive-through box.
You're going to get to know me very well.
These are the 5 items I require every Monday and Wednesday and occasionally other days of the week.
We're going to have a great relationship.
We are. We are. Oh, good Lord.
That's all right. My Starbucks people know who I am, and they, I don't change my order, but for the most part, but occasionally I do. So they don't ever have mine ready for me, but they also don't know if I'm coming in all the time. So
I was on a regular schedule around 7 on Mondays and Wednesdays. So, all right, here we go. So
yes, let's go.
Oh, James is inside Tower of Terror.
That's awesome.
Okay. So I do like Chipotle, but one time it got me sick, but I still go back. I'm a sucker.
I got to put this somewhere. I can't figure out where to put it right now.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. So this Wednesday. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1518 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. It's time for more listener questions, and strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, so pace yourself. That's a lot of BOGP, but we hope you enjoy it. We did a live call-in show that was a lot of fun last Sunday night. That's coming your way tomorrow. And of course, Friday, Ricky and I are going to be quickly going through the comparisons, comparing and contrasting Art of Animation versus Pop Century in that little mini series that we started a couple of months back. So joining me today, we have Ricky from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. Happy anniversary, Ricky, as we record tonight. How's it going?
It is going good. Yes, I'm on a little bit of a time crunch today, but we'll get this all taken care of. But the day we record anyway. But it's a lot of Mike and Ricky this week. I'm just saying, there's a lot of me and you that people are getting in their earbuds. So
yes, and let me just fill in a little housekeeping here. Pam couldn't make it tonight. She had something come up, but she wanted to tell everybody hello. It was kind of a last minute thing, so she will be back next week. So no sweat there, but she's had something come up, and this is the first official regular Be Our Guest podcast from Be Our Guest Podcast Studios West.
Yay!
Yes. So if you're watching live, it is very boring looking in the backdrop because Paige has the essential part of my backdrop somewhere in Colombia in her car, I hope, because I got the whole kit except for the one crossbar. Without the crossbar, nothing's happening.
Nothing works. No.
Boring looking.
No, that's
all right. And shout out to Jenny Lee down in Australia. Tuned in. It's morning there. So
awesome. That's fantastic.
All right. Let's get the first question of the day. It's from Zach, and he says, help, Galaxy's Edge and Mickey's Not So Scary. Hey, Mike, Ricky, and Pam, I have 2 questions for y'all. First is that my wife and I are heading down on August 17th. I know somebody else that's going there.
I know somebody else that's going to be there that day too.
For the Galaxy's Edge AP preview. We are veteran Walt Disney World travelers, but are new pass holders and have never been to a preview before. Any tips or advice as to what that will be like? And he's got a second question, so let's stop there. So, Ricky, tell him, what can Zach expect at an AP preview event?
So, the crowds are not going to be exponentially large. It's going to be very manageable for you to be able to get on the attraction, see the land. Now, of course, you did have to have reservations for Oga's Cantina, as well as to make a lightsaber at Savi's workshop. So if you don't have those, you're not getting them. But if you do have those, then yay you. So yes, I have heard if you did have a Savi's workshop, or not Savi's, Oga's Cantina reservation, that they were kicking you out after like 45 minutes. So just keep that in mind. But for the most part, with these lands and our previews and the openings, they're not the crowds aren't bad. They have them managed very, very easily. And I suspect it'll be very similar to what we saw when they had the reservation system at Disneyland, where, at the beginning of the time period, the crowd would descend on the Millennium Falcon attraction. And then in the middle of the time period, the crowds would be minimal. And then it would ramp back up when the overlap started occurring. So just kind of keep in mind, there were a few overlaps that did happen. So I know that it's like from it was like from 9 to 1, and then I saw an 11 to 3, and then
5 to 9.
1 to 5, and then 5 to 9.
Yep.
Those are the ones that I've heard of. I'm not sure if there's a one in between the 1 and 9 time slot that's in between those two. But anyway, in the times when right at the beginning of the overlap, I would definitely make sure you're not in line for the attraction, or because you're gonna have a wait. But I would give it about 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then the lines will die down a little bit more. So, but you're gonna have a great time. I will be there on the 17th. So maybe, I don't know what time your reservation is for, but mine's from the 1 to 5 time slot. So or 1 to whatever. Yeah, 1 to 5. So that's when I will be there. And I'm excited. So it's gonna
happen. Find Ricky.
Yes. And everybody can hashtag find Mike on the 21st.
21st. I have the 5 to 9 slot. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going, but see, here's my problem I'm having with this, because I'm probably going to go once before Marathon Weekend. I have the option to go down for this AP preview for Galaxy's Edge, or I'm considering going down the 29th to like the 2nd of October, September 29th, because think about it. I'll get to do the Skyliner,
right?
Past Illuminations, Epcot Forever, and what was the 4th thing?
Yeah.
Oh, and then Galaxy's Edge will be open.
Got it. Yeah,
I'm still up in the air on that, because I get more bang for my buck on those 3 or 4 days, like late September, early October.
That's true. You do.
I should write a question to a podcast and ask what I should do.
I know you should pick a podcast and write a question and see what you should do. Not ours, because I don't have an answer for you. Actually, I do have an answer for you, and I don't think you're going to like it. So
I don't know what to do. All right,
I think you should do the second one. But
I'd enjoy it more. But I'll be a mess when Illuminations goes away. I'll just be a mess.
I know, but you definitely be able to experience that. It is your favorite show, and you be able to experience it one last time on the last night, and then see the next show. So I feel like that's more of a
yeah. I've said goodbye to it already, though. It's like just dragging on the funeral, I know.
That's crazy.
It'll be like me watching Field of Dreams, man. I'll be crying like a baby.
That's true. I said goodbye to it in a really epic way. So on a boat. So I think that
That's true. You did it right. You
did it right.
It again, because you can't do better. Okay. Second question. We're gonna get some of the live questions in the Facebook chat. He says, second is that we're also heading down in November for the Wine and Dine 2-course challenge, and we're having a dilemma. My parents are coming down to cheer us on, and they're attending the last Not So Scary Halloween party on November 1st. Mm-hmm. We really want to go with them, as this would be the only chance we get to go to the party this year, but it's the night before the 10K. They do not get to come to Walt Disney World often, and we're torn between going with them to the party, which we have been to in past years, and getting in bed early for the race. This is our first Run Disney race. We know the mornings will be early, but we love the Halloween party. What are your thoughts? As always, we love the show and look forward to every episode. Thanks, Zach. All right, I have a definite opinion on this, but Ricky, what do you say? What would you do? What would you do? I mean, because you've run the 10Ks. What would you do?
Yeah, I have. And I hate to say this, but I think if it was me, I would skip the Halloween.
Dude, I would totally go. Who cares? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's 6 miles. You'll make it.
No, it's not
exhaustion.
Look, it's not the 6 miles. That's not the part that I'm concerned about. It's once you're at the party, you are not going to want to leave early. And
you just stay up. What is
the party is until midnight. So, I mean, okay, and you're going to want to, like, I would say that would work if you weren't with your in-laws, where you could just sleep all day and then get up and go to the party and then stay up all day, all night, and then run the race in the morning and then take a nap in the next day. Like, I would say, like, that would work. But if you want to spend time with your in-laws, that's not a great option. So I would probably skip the party, and because you have to get up at 2 a.m.
No, you gotta get up like at 3. I mean,
okay, you're still not getting back to your hotel until 1 a.m. And then you have to get up at 3. I think I'd skip it. I would do the adult thing and skip it, even though I don't want to.
Here's the thing. Like, just go. You're going to be exhausted anyway. You're going to have a good time. It's not like you're running a marathon the next day. I mean, 7.2 miles is, it's not short, but it's like an hour, 90 minutes or so. It's going to stink. You're going to be exhausted after it. But I mean,
I like how everybody's saying, party, skip the 10K.
Or that. No, you don't do that either.
Aren't they doing the challenge? So they are.
They're doing the challenge.
Skip 10K. No.
So I will say that one time before the Star Wars half, this was a few years back when my buddy Dave came down that I used to teach school with, and I had a room. Scott and I got a room at Coronado, and then my buddy Dave wanted to come down. I'm like, we got come on down. We got a room already. So there's 3 of us. And we decided to we're staying at Coronado. So we decided to go to Maya Grill the night before. And we got like an 8 o'clock ADR, 9 o'clock ADR, something like that. Got the margarita flights. And then we decided to all pay with our own credit cards. Well, that adds 2 hours in Maya Grill sometimes. We didn't get back to the room till 12:30. We made it. Like,
oh my gosh.
Look, way more fun. Go.
I will say that Brian did do something very similar. We went to Halloween Horror Nights and didn't get home until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I think that was when he was Eugene. And so I think that was the day that he ran Wine Dine as Eugene. Wasn't it the Wine Dine that he ran as Eugene?
Dr. Eugene, yes.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was that race weekend. And so then he literally slept 2 hours and then got up and ran that race in the morning. So it's been done in my family. I just wouldn't do it. Yeah.
I'm just saying, different strokes for different folks. For 2 years. All right, Ashley's got a question here. Ashley Gibson in the live chat. I know Pam's not here to answer a lounge question.
No.
Pam, you are the lounge expert.
Yes, she is.
All right, she says, so don't fail her team.
Okay.
If you do eat at a lounge, can you use your Disney dining credits, or is it all out of pocket, or does it correlate with whatever restaurant the dining credit goes with? Or any favorites to go to? So basically, she's wanting to know if she can use her Disney dining plan credits at lounges.
Okay. So I think if they serve the full meal, if they serve the meals that they offer at the restaurants, then yes. But if they only serve small bites, things like that, then no.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to do it.
No.
You wouldn't be able to do that with apps, but you have to get a full meal.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think like a lounge that would serve a full meal.
Well, I mean, you've got the Tune In Lounge. They serve the full meal. You've got, I mean, I know that's,
I've seen people full on eating meatloaf at the bar.
I think I've definitely done it. I think the Wave, I've done a full meal. I know you can get a full meal at the California Grill Lounge. That's upstairs. So yeah, I mean, if they offer, actual food, then they will be able to take care of you. But if they don't, then they won't. So just know that. Usually the ones that are attached to restaurants will be able to offer you the food, the menu. But if it's a bar by itself, for the most part, it won't.
Yep, that's the point. And Tune In Lounge is a great one to go to because the bartenders are fun. It's cool atmosphere in there, and you can get anything off the menu. I love their food.
Mm-hmm.
Samantha Wright's got a question. Hey guys, I'm trying to talk my husband into going down for the Star Wars half marathon weekend for my 30th birthday. I will have just a little 6-month-old baby that I would like to leave at home. So I would want the trip to be as quick as possible. Would Wednesday afternoon until Sunday late afternoon be an okay trip, or is that too much, too little? I think it's just about perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer than it needs to be. You could probably go down like Thursday to, Sunday. It depends what you're running, because the half marathon will be on Sunday. So you might want to stay Sunday night and leave early Monday morning, just because it's kind of hard to like run, shower, because you got to check out of your room first. True. You don't want to check out the day of the race. I've done that and it's a mess. So maybe I would Monday, but go Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would move it to Thursday, and then go and then leave Monday. Yeah.
All right, knocking them down like bowling pins. Laura's got a question. Homecoming, reservation only that I can't get, or can I walk in and score a table?
Oh, I mean, you can always try. Obviously, earlier in the day, I feel like you will be a little luckier. But yeah, you can always try. I would definitely, but have a backup plan.
Well, it also depends time of day. Like there's times when homecoming, like, lunchtime, you can walk right in. But I mean, if you're going at like 6 o'clock on a Saturday night,
you're not getting in.
Sorry, bro, you're not getting in. No. I wish.
Sorry.
All right. See here. Donnie says, and Donnie's always here with us. We appreciate that. I'm going to the first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party in August and want to know, should I be afraid of the crowds?
So I will say that August date, it is typically a little more crowded because they let in all the bloggers.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, just look out. You'll get hit with a not a selfie stick anymore, but like a video camera.
You will be on camera from somebody. I can guarantee it. That first date is always hit hard with Instagrammers and vloggers and bloggers and anybody with a news site. Unfortunately, not me. I won't be there, but everybody else with a news site will be there. Darn fact, I don't live in Florida. And I was trying to figure it out too. I was like, dang, can I make it to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party that same weekend I'm going to Galaxy's Edge? And of course, like, they don't offer them on Saturdays. I'm like, no.
I might be able to go to a party while I'm down there if I go in August. So now I got another thing to think about. Okay, I got to
make it in September too, dear. You can do it in September. Just saying. But now I got to figure out when I can throw in this party on one of these long weekends that I take, and I'm just like, oh, why are you not offered on Saturday?
So much. All right, it's fun. I went to the Christmas party for the media preview, and it was fun. I mean, it was a little busy, but it is kind of fun to watch. Everybody trying to get the perfect shot, and somebody always walks right through. It's so frustrating because I'm not like that. I'm just there to take it in.
No, it's definitely just a little busier, though. I will say, you will notice the crowds are a little more increased. That the first party, and sometimes the second party, just because you've got all the influencers that are there that are trying to get their content. So yeah,
that word cracks me up.
Influencer.
I'm so old.
Okay, we're influencers too.
I am not. We
sure as heck influence people. We sure as heck influence people on their Disney vacations. So
I just like to talk about it.
We're answering questions, Mike. We're on an influencer show right now. What are you talking about?
I just drive my Jeep down the road. There is nobody I'm influencing in my life. I can't even influence my family, so forget it. Anyway, if I told my wife I was an influencer, she'd be like, grow up and get a job. So,
you have one.
I know. I still can't believe I'm a 45-year-old and tell people I'm a podcaster and a travel agent. Yes, I'm a podcaster. I know I'm not 22. I know I'm old. Anyway.
Oh yeah, Ashley is correct. That usually that first Halloween party is sold out as well. And partially that's because they're inviting all the bloggers and vloggers and influencers and stuff like that. And all
those people who've been dying all year, like, it's Halloween.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the Halloween people. Okay, next, Nick has a question. Okay. I'm interested in having a custom lightsaber built at Savi's workshop, but I've heard they can't be disassembled once you've built them. Any tips on how to get this very cool but awkward to pack souvenir home, given that we're flying in and out of Orlando? Can I fit the lightsaber in the overhead bin on the plane? Should I ship it back to myself? I'm assuming they are somewhat fragile, so I'm wondering what the best strategy is here. Okay, I'm just like, this is a great question, Nick, and I'm not laughing at you, but I'm laughing at like 15 years ago. Do you think Orlando International Airport ever thought they would have this many lightsabers passing through their...
But I have an answer for you.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's from TSA. Ironically enough, TSA has had to answer this question now. So Yes, lightsabers can go in carry-on. And the good news is that Disney does provide you, when you purchase your lightsaber, like a carry bag to put your lightsaber in, because you can't technically take your lightsaber out while you're in the land. So just keep that in mind. If you're buying a lightsaber,
that is so weird. Like, that's like saying, okay, you're in Adventureland, but you can't take out a tiki. You know, like
well, you're not buying tikis in Adventureland.
If you could, it's just so weird.
Now, Chris is saying in the chat here that it comes apart. They saw it today. So, I mean, I'm guessing maybe it does. But I can tell you with certainty that TSA says it's A-okay as a carry-on. So it's good to go.
And just in my personal experience, like Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from the original Star Wars, where he fights Darth Vader and gets killed, that little bitty baby one that doesn't hardly have any light, that would fit in the overhead bin. But now if you're Darth Maul with the whoosh and comes out both sides, do you forget that is not fitting in the bin. So just be careful what kind of Sith or Jedi you are.
That's true. Valid point.
Be an old man Jedi.
No, well, they only sell one type of.
It was comedic relief.
Okay, well, that's good.
I know. Obviously, it wasn't very funny because you didn't get it. Anyway,
no, I get it. I'm just answering the question so nobody thinks that they can buy like a Kylo Ren lightsaber with the little blade sticking out. And like they don't sell that at Savi's. So
you buy them. You become the lightsaber calls to you.
Oh, okay. It calls to you for $200.
Yes, it does. If it calls to me, it does call to me. I just can't answer the phone because I can't accept that kind of a call.
Exactly. I'm sorry, collect call for $200. I am not okay with this.
It's a boy. We're all safe. It's a boy.
Yes, exactly. I'm not answering that collect call. I'm sorry. Not happening.
Karen says, can you explain how Garden Grocer works and when in relation to your trip should you place the order? Have you ever used anything? I use Amazon Prime now, and that's because what I do with Amazon Prime now, I've never used Garden Grocer myself, but I put everything in the cart, and Amazon Prime now is delivered within, they give you windows, usually within a couple hours, but you can wait it, if you want to do it like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours later, you pick a slot. But I send the order when I land, when I get on Magical Express, and then it's usually at my resort room 2-3 hours later. What do you know about that, Ricky?
Yeah, I haven't used Garden Grocer before, and actually I don't ever have groceries delivered either. Just because I'm staying at Pop Century usually, and I'm not having, I don't have the ability to make cookies in my room, Mike Roman. So
I've done that once, but it was awesome.
I know. So I'm not really, a whole lot of help. Let me look to see if we've had some blogs in the past on the Mouse for Less about Garden Grocer, and maybe that will help. So let me do a little bit of research here for a second. We'll come back to this.
All right. Next question is from the live chat. It's from Peggy. She says, question regarding a split stay. We added an extra night onto the beginning of our trip, staying at Art of Animation, and then we're going to move to Boardwalk the next day to enjoy some pool time. We are not doing a park during the day, but we're attending Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Hope to be at the park at 4. What's the best way to get our luggage to the Boardwalk? Love listening to y'all. Thanks. All right, so they're going from Art of Animation over to Boardwalk, and they're only staying one night, it looks like, at Boardwalk. But they're going to the Halloween party. So this is kind of a tricky one because what I might do, and Pam suggests this, because it does take a while. Disney's great at getting your luggage moved, but it does take time. And if you want that stuff, because you want your stuff, especially if you're swimming, you'll be wet. You're going to want to change the clothes and stuff. I would just like grab an Uber and throw your stuff in the car and get over there and just drop it at the bell services at Boardwalk and then go on with your day and go to the Halloween party. Would you do that, Ricky? Man, it's like $10.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best option. Yeah.
All righty. While you're looking that up, let's get to the next question. It's Karen, College Station Karen here. Don't say go Aggies. Can't stand them. Ooh, man, she's in College Station. Doesn't like the Aggies. I was going to say gig them, but I don't like them ever since Johnny Manziel. But anyway, so y'all were talking about overrated, underrated stuff the other day, and I thought it was interesting that Pam wasn't a huge fan of Chef Mickey's, but I thought she made good points. It's a very active character experience. We did it for dinner at the end of the day once, and by the time that last character came to our table, poor Goofy, our 2-year-old was over it. Character meals are... What character meals would y'all suggest that might be a little lower key? Thanks, y'all are the best. So you're right. It's a high energy place. And if you've been in the parks all day and you're trying to wrap up a day, I hope the 2-year-old didn't like drill like Goofy in the nose or something. It kind of sounds like it might have happened. I don't know. Aggies are kind of, they can be tough. Oh, she's not an Aggie, so there you go.
No.
So I'm trying to think, like, Ohana Breakfast is a pretty low-key character encounter. It's not real crazy.
Garden Grill.
Grill.
What about the
anything where we don't wave towels.
Yes, exactly. At Cape May, the breakfast at that they have there, that might be a little lower key, just because I don't feel like a lot of people talk about that one. So that might be an option.
Tusker House isn't bad either.
Huh?
Tusker House, Crystal Palace. They don't really do like parties or anything for those.
No, that's true.
House a little more that might be more high energy. It's kind of crazy in there.
I feel like that Crystal Palace might be a little much. I know that they have like a really laid back one at Garden Grove at like the Swan or the Dolphin. Yeah, like there's only like 2 characters that go there. And it's not every day, but it's like super low key. I mean, really low key. So that's an option for you if you really wanted something that was just ridiculously low key.
Like the characters just sit in the corner and smoke a cigarette and you go sit on your lap or something. It sounds like it.
I'm just saying it seems really low. Seems really low key.
Want a picture? Anyway,
I have an answer about Garden Grocer, by the way. So we do have a couple of articles. The last one was written in 2015, so it's been a few years, but at least
as the influencers say, it's been a minute.
Yeah. So I mean, but at least it'll give you an idea. So of what to kind of expect. So.
All righty, Rhonda Lee, who's always here with us, we appreciate her so much. My question for today is: what are your favorite things to do on a non-park day after a cruise? So here's the problem we're having, and this has come up with my guests more than once in the past couple of weeks. So with those new tickets, the new ticket structure, Ricky, that you probably know all about. Sure. Basically, what you get if you get a 7-day Magic Your Way ticket, you get 9 days to use it. You get like a +2.
Right.
You get a 5, you get 7 days to use it. If you get a 7, you get 9 days. You get 2 days beyond the end of the ticket.
Yes.
So what we used to do back in the day when we took a cruise and you would stay before and after, you had a 14-day window to use your tickets. So you could use, like, if you bought a 5-day ticket, you could use 3 days. And then go on a 4 or 5, even a 7-night cruise, come back and use it in 2 days. No problem. No worries. You can do no problem. Problem is now, say you buy a 5-day ticket and then you go on a 5-night cruise, that ticket's no good when you get back. And so a lot of folks are kind of coming into this situation where they don't want to immediately go home from the cruise. I encourage people not to try to do that if you can, because it's kind of rough getting off the boat. But you want to go back to Walt Disney World, but you don't want to have to buy day one prices for tickets. You won't pay $120 a day. So this is kind of a lot of folks behind.
I'm surprised that Disney hasn't amended this at this point, just because of issues like that. That would be, but then again, they'd much rather you spend the extra money to buy the extra ticket. So yeah, I can see why they haven't. But really what I feel like it's doing more is just making people say, okay, well, I'm not going to the park. So, I mean, you can always are they going to stay at a resort? You can always do a resort day, which is always a lot of fun. Or you could do like a monorail crawl, going around to the different resorts around the monorail. You could do, anything at Disney Springs. You could do bowling. You could do the Void. You could always go to that other park that that's over on the other side.
I did all my trainings for Universal today. I am like all about it. Ollivander. The place, I know all about it.
Good. So you can always go over to the dark side and see what that's all about. So I feel like that's such a bummer that they do that.
It is. It stinks.
Yeah, that's awful.
I wish they should have something where if you have a Disney cruise, some kind of an override or exception.
They should, yeah.
I mean, I know it'd be super hard to like put that into the tech.
And because they don't talk to each other, their systems. So there's no way they'd be able to prove that you had a Disney cruise because their systems don't talk to each other. So
but I mean, Disney Cruise has some sailings where one of the excursions is Walt Disney World. So there is some kind of, because like if you're sailing out of New York and doing like a Caribbean, like they stop at Port Canaveral, bus you over for a day.
That's true.
Anyway, Cal's got a question. Tony's or the Palace for a quick ADR since Liberty Tavern is booked solid?
Don't do Tony's.
Talking Crystal Palace. I'm not so down on Tony's.
Don't do Tony's. Do Crystal Palace. Definitely do Crystal Palace. Don't do Tony's. The last time I was there, granted it has been a while, but there's nothing that is saying, hey, come back and try us, we're better. I don't know. I recently dined at Crystal Palace and had a really good meal there, so I feel like
Weird.
or
I'm
do you
back.
see
Yes,
my
we're here.
Oh, okay, got it. I lost you for a second.
I don't know what happened there. I disappeared, and I'm hosting the show. So yeah, and everybody in the chat saying Crystal Palace every time. So
All right, see, I was right.
I guess if there's ever a palace in the name, you got to go there.
Yep. George is doing the pukey face for Tony's, so
I don't mind Tony's, but I mean, I eat Taco Bell all the time too. So.
yeah, this is valid. Okay.
All right, Brad's got a question. He says, "Hey, BOGP crew, I have a question about Magical Express. We're going down to the world in March. Some of my family will be heading home in the middle of the week while the rest of us stay for a few more days. The family members leaving early are nervous about getting to MCO and getting to their flight by themselves. Would Disney let me tag along with them on the bus? I would take an Uber back after getting them to their plane. Thanks for all you do, Brad." Ricky, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think they could get away with it? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because everybody has the
Reservation.
reservation. Yeah. I mean, you could take an Uber and meet them at the airport.
Uber just right in the lane right next to the bus the whole way, like escort it like an F-15 on Air Force One.
Yeah. But yeah, besides you taking an Uber to the airport and meeting them there, and I mean, really, that would just be for just getting through, the check-in spot. You wouldn't be able to go through TSA with them either. So
and the thing is, with Magical Express, they literally drop, they take care of your luggage, they drop you off right there. There's not a lot of difficulty in getting to your plane. It's super, because I've sent Paige when she was like 17 or 18 with no issues by herself. I trusted it.
Yeah.
All right, not sure. This is from Matt. Not sure if it's been talked about yet, but what are your thoughts on the new free dining Disney release? Seems like it was all smoke and mirrors. It had no availability, just a sneaky tactic by Disney to get folks on the phone. I will tell you, Matt, that I did get some people. It just depended on your resort and especially your dates.
Yeah.
This year was really tricky because it sounded like it was a big open window from like September to December for free dining. In actuality, there's a lot of events there that have the resorts just packed, like Jersey weeks in there, Wine and Dine weeks there. You got Halloween, you got Rise of Resistance opening, which is during Pop Warner, which is already a busy. It's actually right at the end of Pop Warner week. So there were a lot of things. To get that free dining, you have to have availability at the resort for those dates. Because basically what you're doing is you're finding an empty slot. You're booking we're rebooking it, but basically what's happening is you're grabbing a new free dining promotion, new reservation. But if you have an existing reservation, we just modify it to that. So you do have to have availability for those dates at that resort. There has to be a certain amount of empty rooms also for that to kick in. But we're, for our guests, we're trying, but I mean, it's not, the problem is Walt Disney World's not having a ton of problems filling the rooms.
Right.
And if they're not filling the rooms, the discounts won't be there.
Right. And that's the whole thing. They only offer those discounts when they can't fill the rooms. And, free dining is a big publicity thing. I mean, it's one of those things that gets everybody talking in the Disney community. So while it's not necessarily smoke and mirrors, it's not necessarily misleading either, because they are still offering free dining. It's just they are booked up. So I think that's part of the problem, is that they're trying to fill those slots where they're not as booked up. So that's why it's not available during the popular times to be there, because they don't need it for those times. They need it for those days that are in the middle of September, that they're dead, not dead, but you don't have anything going on. That those first couple weeks of November when they don't have anything really going on, those kind of things. So yeah.
And if you're looking for a free dining, usually it's going to, in these kind of situations, you're going to find it at the deluxe, and especially the deluxe villas. There aren't as many villas, so really the deluxe. So like you're going to find it like at Grand Floridian, Polynesian, Contemporary's got a lot of rooms if you can do that. But that's the thing. I mean, if you're staying at Pop Century and you want to upgrade to the Contemporary, you've probably tripled the cost of your trip for free dining, which doesn't make financial sense.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people complain about the fact that, it wasn't really free dining. My trip ended up costing more. And the reason for that is because you got the rate that you had before Disney raised the prices on their tickets.
Yes.
They raised the prices of the tickets quite exponentially when they did it recently. So that's why you have the better deal without free dining, because you are paying less for your tickets than you would be paying with free dining. So I would just save the money and put it on a gift card, and then use that money on the gift card to pay for all your dining, instead of being bummed that you didn't get free dining. You are saving that money. So this is why we say when free dining isn't the end all be all. It's for reasons like this, because they offered free dining, but for a lot of people it didn't work, and that's because they already had a better deal because they bought their tickets beforehand. So
all right, let's get to the last question of the day. It's from Nicole, Caribbean Beach Resort 2020. Hey, Be Our Guest crew. You are my 8-year-old daughter Mackenzie's favorite podcast. Her favorite episodes are trip reports.
Aww.
That's awesome. And we're going to do more live call-in trip reports on Sunday night. So stand by, because this past Monday, I hope you enjoyed that show. It was a little different. We did a bunch of mini trip reports, and we want to do more of that because we can talk to people that had just got back maybe last week. You know, it can be more time sensitive and talk about the things that are happening. So if you want to come in on Sunday nights, we're going to do those more often. Ricky will be here when she can. I'll always be here. And just give us 5 to 10 minutes on your latest trip. All right. Thanks, Mackenzie. So she says she has a question about our stay at Caribbean Beach Resort next year. She wants to know if y'all have stayed there and if you liked it. What's your favorite part of the resort? Her birthday is August 4th. She'll be turning 9, and she would love a shout out for her birthday. Thank you so much for being a great family-friendly podcast. Listening to you gets us excited for our next trip home, only 265 days away. Sincerely, Nicole and Mackenzie from Connecticut. Well, unfortunately, Mackenzie, we can't do birthday shout outs anymore. We have
You're so rude. Happy birthday, Mackenzie. I'll do one.
Happy birthday, Mackenzie. I love that we're your favorite podcast.
That's awesome.
Awesome. We appreciate that so much. So, Ricky, Caribbean Beach, you haven't stayed at as many resorts as me because you have relatives in Central Florida.
This is true. I haven't stayed at as many moderate resorts as you. I've stayed probably at more deluxe resorts than you have. Thanks, Florence. So
I go one night, and I'm going to savor that for the rest of my life. One night at the Flow. Anyway,
so I have been to Caribbean Beach, though. I went and toured the resort, as well as ate there at Sebastian's Bistro. Sebastian's Bistro is really good. I very much enjoyed it. I love the new feel of the resort, especially the main lobby area. I think it's great. They have a great new quick service dining location there as well. And I think that's one of those quick service dining locations where you place your order and then they give you a puck and you put it on the table and then they bring your food out to you, which is really awesome. The pool looks like it's so much fun. I just have to say it looks like it's a blast. So I think you'll very much enjoy that. And I really do like this resort. I'm not going to lie. I think it's definitely up there as one of, even though I haven't stayed there, the feel of the resort now that they've refurbished it is as one of my favorites, I think. So it's a good choice. I think you made a good choice.
I agree. I think you have a blast there because you're going to have the Skyliner available to you,
That's
which
true.
is a novel way to get around. I mean, that's going to be the coolest. That's like a ride right at your resort that takes you to the other rides at the theme parks. That's awesome. And it just has a cool feel. It's kind of on the same level, not on the same level, but the same feel. It was like a Polynesian and like Old Key West with all the palm trees and, you know, the music you like the reggae, not the reggae, but like the calypso, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen steel drum bands there, which is my favorite, and it's so much fun. So, I love Caribbean Beach now. They've done a great job with it.
All right, quick question for Jennifer, and we're getting out of here. Going to Galaxy's Edge in December, and we'll be going ROR and a Rise of Resistance.
Yes.
Or she's doing Rise of Resistance and Smuggler's Run. I've only seen the 1977 original Star Wars. Do I need to do a marathon of the movies to have a better experience? Yes.
Okay, I will preface this. If you don't want to see all the movies, I would at the very least see the last trilogy, so 7, 8, and then 9 won't be out yet, depending on when she goes in December.
We're going before that.
So I would see, because Galaxy's Edge is set in between 8 and 9, so that's where, like, that's the time period that we are in Galaxy's Edge. The other movie I would potentially watch is Solo, because it very much ties into the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
They've used some of the things that they talked about in Solo are very prevalent in the attraction. So that's the other one, because is it coaxium? Is that what you're I think that's what you're going to get. And that's talked about heavily in Solo. So yeah, I would at least see 7 and 8, and then and then Solo. And as long as you have a general idea of kind of what's happened with Star Wars, you should be fine. If you want to watch the movies, I mean, go ahead.
I would. I mean,
but you're gonna get more out of it if you watched all the movies. Now, granted, I've seen all the movies, and I still have questions. So
you're pretty good on that one. I would guess that you couldn't take the droids on because they were remote control. I think that's right for Disney Cruise. She's asking about that too. So
you couldn't take the droids where?
On the Disney Cruise because of remote control. I doubt you would get that through. I couldn't even get a hair dryer.
Oh gosh, but I don't know, because they wouldn't be able to say no, would they? I mean, I guess maybe they confiscate it until the end of the cruise. But that's a very interesting question that I don't think that they've thought about. Yeah. You definitely can't roll it around the ship. I will tell you that. If you do get it on board, you're not going to be able to roll it around the ship. So don't do that.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
No.
Fantasy. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for the great questions. We're all over the place. A little cruise line, a little Walt Disney World, Disneyland. We're talking about it all, and it's because of you guys. So send those questions in to Mike@BeOurGuestPodcast.com and tune in every Monday at around 5:45 Eastern. See, Ricky, I did that right this time. 5.
You did. Good job.
Eastern, we start to kick it off. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News, Disney Edition. Ricky, quickly, what are we reading on the app this week?
Well, we are reading about the fact that beginning July 29th, which has already happened, guests can get special perks at Epcot. So if they're annual pass holders, so they can take advantage of special offerings like reserved seating for Guardians of the Galaxy, Awesome Mix Live, discounts at places like Fife and Drum, Block and Hans, which is there in the American Adventure Pavilion, as well as at Coral Reef. A secret Sunshine Seasons treat, which you have to ask for to find out what it is, which we've seen now by this point if you've been online, but it looks delicious, by the way. I would totally be in for that.
It's a secret.
You also can get a free dessert at Coral Reef if you dine there, and there are special PhotoPass opportunities, the bridge at Italy for pass holders as well. So that's it.
All right. So be in the know. Check out this app. It's a free iOS app for your Apple device over at virtualmickey.com. Also, don't forget, back to school's coming up quickly this weekend here in St. Louis. It's tax-free weekend. So, I mean, it's time to go back. But hey, forget that stuff. Walmart and Target are going to be like a madhouse. You're like risking your life. It's like Black Friday if you go in there during these tax-free weekends. Go to Amazon. Use our link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Bam. Everything shows up on your front porch 2 days later, maybe a day later, and the kids will cry even sooner, and you'll do the happy dance because it's time for the kids to go back to school. And now that I'm a teacher, I don't care. Go back to school. Good. I'm just glad. This time of year, I used to get depressed. Now I don't.
Now you don't.
It's awesome. No. All right. So also follow us on the social media. Don't forget Instagram and Twitter. We're not influencers, but we are posting stuff every day. Be Our Guest Pod and Be Our Guest Mike. And of course, Facebook.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Check us out on YouTube too, because I love to tell my daughter that I'm a YouTube star.
That's right.
Yeah, tell her that.
I need to work a little bit harder on those. I was having trouble downloading them the last time, so I gotta.
We can download them in HD apparently now.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
So yeah, because Mallory's starting obviously her new school here very shortly. I mean, she's going into middle school. God, I can't believe that she was 2 months old when we started this podcast. She's going
right.
But I told her, when I meet her friends on the first day of school, when I walk in to, drop her off at her homeroom, I'm going to tell everybody, I'm a YouTube star. Her dad's
absolutely, 100%. Oh, okay. I would totally, yes. They'll be like, oh. So yeah, I would totally do it.
What's PewDiePie? I'm almost PewDiePie. I don't even know who that is, but
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
I just heard the name before. Okay. Anyway, we're getting out of here. We'll be back again on Friday talking Art of Animation. Well, actually, tomorrow we got a live show, and then Friday, Art of Animation versus Pop Century. So stay tuned for that. For Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike. Wish you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let me say that one real quick. The next one's gonna be way short. Okay. So
yes, please.
I know.
No, I know you know.
So it's 15:18. That one didn't sound too bad. Edited. Okay, here we go. Hello from Boulder Ridge. Johnny. Boulder Ridge is awesome. I wish I was at Wilderness. I wish I was at Geyser Point. Saving, done. Close that one. Start a new one. Okay, here we go. 15:19. Welcome to episode 1519 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it to another weekend. It is already August. Can you believe it? The summer is ripping by, but as we say here in the Midwest, we're in the dog days of summer. It's warm, the days are long, and it's fun to take a podcast out as you mow the grass, or even better, chill out on a hammock and kick off the weekend right now with some fun Disney talk. One of the great things we love talking about here on the show are the Walt Disney World resorts. And today we're going to continue our mini little series that we're doing. We compared Riverside to French Quarter. We compared Wilderness Lodge to Animal Kingdom Lodge. Today, by listener requests, Catherine asked me about this earlier in the week. We're going to compare Pop Century to Art of Animation. So I think this is going to be a shorter show. But the thing is, you've gotten a lot of Be Our Guest podcasts this week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today. So we hope that this is going to find you well. And you'll be like, thank you, guys. We didn't need a 2-hour show, on a Friday. So, we want to give you something to talk about and keep the series going. So joining me today to talk a little value resorts where both of us kind of tend to land a lot. We have Ricky from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. What's up, Ricky? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's a glorious Friday. So I'm ready for the weekend. I don't know about you, but I'm ready.
Too.
Let's do it.
Too. Last weekend was like a fog because we just moved into the new house, and hopefully by this weekend we are getting close to maybe 50% through the boxes. The boxes are, I have nightmares about boxes now.
Trust me, I understand. The good thing, I liked when I moved, was that somebody moved, packed all my stuff for me, and then moved it for me. So I didn't have to do that part, but I did have to put it all away. So that part was kind of a bummer, but we just kind of went from one room to the next and put it away that way. But you'll have boxes for a while just sitting around the house that are like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually, because you know what's in it and it's not anything that you need. And so you'll just eventually get to it, and eventually ends up being 6 months to a year to 2 years later, whatever.
The first thing was I set up, got in, and of course, we put the bed together. We don't have it is a recording right now. We still have a kitchen table. Now, by the time this airs, we will. But right now, as we're recording, don't have a kitchen table, don't have a refrigerator. We have a mini fridge.
Wait, you don't have a refrigerator?
It's getting delivered tomorrow as we record. So it's only been 4 days because they just couldn't get it there that fast.
Got it.
I'm using a mini fridge that I had in my classroom. So I got my Coke Zeros are cold, and like a little turkey or something, a little half gallon of milk. But it's just so crazy. Today I was working in the office. First thing I set up was a podcast studio. And I got this new desk, but the thing is, where the mouse is, it's real slick. So I was like, I had a mouse. They gave me a mouse pad at the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train grand opening thing.
Yes.
You got a mouse pad. It was Festival of Fancy. It was real cool looking, but I never used it at the old house because my mouse worked fine on the old desk.
Yes.
And we just had it there as a decoration. So I knew I threw it in a box. I've been looking for that thing for like 3 hours.
Where's the mouse pad?
I know. I can't find the stupid mouse pad. And I have a feeling that's going to be the rest of my life because I threw it.
You'll find it eventually when you don't need it anymore. Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about Art of Animation versus Pop Century, both Walt Disney World value resorts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Pop Century opened around, I would say, 2000, or no, maybe late 90s.
Oh,
we were there the first year it opened. So maybe around 97, 98. The point I'm making is Art of Animation is newer.
Oh, yeah.
Than Pop Century by probably about a decade.
Yes.
But originally, if you don't know this, if you're new to the whole Disney thing, just so you know, Pop Century was originally going to be 2 sections on each half of this lake called Hourglass Lake, which separated each section with the Generation Gap Bridge. And they were going to have the classic years, which is what Pop Century is now. And on the other side of Hourglass Lake, that was going to be the legendary years. And Pop Century currently is the 50s to the 90s, those decades. And legendary years is going to be the aughts to the 40s.
The aughts?
And I heard that on a podcast once.
Okay. All right. That's good.
I don't know what to call it. I think I got it right. Back me up.
I don't.
Okay. So before we dive into the pros and the cons and what each one offers, hello.
Hello. Sorry.
Both disappeared that time.
That was weird. Okay. At least we're both here now.
I know. That's right. Okay, here we go.
All right.
So before we dive into, all the pros and the cons and all that stuff for both resorts, let me ask you this off the top. Would you rather have Pop Century and Art of Animation as we have it today? Or would you have rather had what was it originally planned with classic years and legendary years, just a larger Pop Century? What would you rather have if you had your choice?
So I feel like the way things ended up as Pop Century and Art of Animation is probably for the best. I just feel like, I feel like the decades of the 50s through the 90s is a lot better, resonated a lot better. And I feel like the decades of the, zero zeros through through the 40s is a lot harder of a sell. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that the appeal wouldn't really have been there. And so I feel like taking even though the recession or the 9/11 is what happened that caused the legendary years from being fully built. They did start building them, by the way, for those who didn't know. The actual main hall that the with the food court and all of that was originally built, as well as the Little Mermaid rooms. Those were also originally built, which is why the Little Mermaid rooms are the way they are, and they're not the interior hallways and everything like that, because they had already been built, so they weren't knocking them down. So I just feel like, and you can, Google basically what it looked like before, so if you,
I mean, to be honest, because we stayed there many times when basically it was a shell of,
yes, it was a shell,
20% completed resort, and there were big weeds and just looked like a desolated construction area. It was scary. I mean, it was weird looking. And
you just stared right at it, right? Yeah.
You saw it across the lake. And I mean, they put up some fences and stuff, but depending on, like, if you're staying in the 50s, you could see it really well on the back side of Argos Lakeside. And it was weird because you don't expect to see that. It was kind of shocking because everything at Walt Disney World is so perfectly manicured, and that was
definitely not, and there was no like hiding that. So yeah, but I feel like the way that they've gone now with the Art of Animation Resort, where they do celebrate animation, and they've brought in some of the newer characters, well, newer at the time that the resort was built, that weren't really represented. I feel like that's just a better choice overall. And then they were able to add the the family suites and things like that. So I feel like it was a better choice. What ended up happening, I do feel like the legendary years would have been, I don't know if a failure is the right word, but those would have been the rooms that were always on sale. I will tell you that much.
Yeah, the thing too is I think Disney won in the end with how it turned out, because they needed the family suites. It gave them a new resort to push, to promote, and so, because I think you make a great point where if they would have finished Pop Century as it was, and say, because I'm always excited. I usually don't request a decade. I just kind of let it roll. I like the 50s, but I've stayed in the 70s. I like that. I've been in the 90s, way out at the other end. I like that too. It's fine. So I just let it happen. And it's part of the anticipation of the trip. Like, where are we going to stay? But like, if I'd ended up in the 20s or something, or the 30s, I don't know. Like, that just, it's not super exciting. Like, do I want to be a flapper? That was like out of flappers and stuff. I mean, like, the 20s with the Great Depression, the 30s.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it really would have been a hard sell. And I feel like those would have been the rooms that were constantly on, some sort of free dining promotion, because, just nobody wants to stay in the double zeros. I mean, it's just because it's not 2000, it's 1900. So
in the 20s or 30s, you get to stand in like a soup line instead of go to the food.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that nothing says, hello, like the Great Depression. I don't know. Like, it's just a terrible idea.
It's your free dining. You stay in the
That's it. Free dining.
Anyway, so let's get to the resorts.
Is it too soon to joke about? I'm just saying it might be too soon. Yeah.
All right. So Pop Century and Art of Animation both have rooms that accommodate families of 4, except for Art of Animation. We're going to talk about the family suites in a little bit. So right now let's talk Pop Century. So let's talk theming. Pop Century, Art of Animation, in your opinion, which one do you like better if you had to pick a theme?
Oh, gosh, that is tough, because I really do like both. I like the fact that, Art of Animation has so many great the art is great. I mean, you've got art, I use that term loosely, but you've got the artwork inside the lobby. You've got the characters from Cars that are sitting outside. It was built around the same time as Cars Land, so they had, they really made it feel like Radiator Springs. And if you've been to Radiator Springs, like you get what they're in California, you get what they were going for. The feel is quite the same. I love the Lion King section. I feel like they did a really good job there. Of course, Little Mermaid is one of my favorites. But dude, there's something about Pop Century and the theming there. I mean, you have that nostalgia, and for someone like us, that nostalgia is heavy, and you look at the shadow boxes and you see all the great things that you remember as a child, and some of the things that came before you, and the things that came, well, I feel like I'm gonna go Pop. I think Pop, even though I really do like the design and stuff of Art of Animation. But that is tough. It's hard to choose based off of theme. Yeah.
You said it well. Here's the thing. Here's what I say about the theming overall. Just quickly, I really like what Art of Animation has going on, especially the colorful lobby as you check in. It's got those lights and switches, and of course, all around the resorts they have like a little on the walking path, the running path there around the lake, have little tidbits about animation and sketches and so forth. And I like especially the Cars area. I love that.
Yeah, that area is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's really awesome, especially with the cones where you can get out of the sun. Those are really neat, like little huts.
Yeah.
But like, I really like Art of Animation, but I love Pop Century. And I know for me, it's a personal thing. Like we grew up going to Pop Century every summer because that's really the only resort we could afford.
Exactly.
And so we went there and we had the best times. I mean, Paige was little. We went there every summer. We go to Pop Century. I have a mug, refillable mug.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we went down, like the tie-dye vibe, the food court dancers coming out doing the hustle. Like the food court was just like they had cheese fries. They had the stuff we liked. It wasn't fancy, but it was us. The pools were great. There wasn't a slide. We didn't care. We're in Florida. We're having a good time. We're going to the parks. We love the rooms. I love Pop Century. I really like Art of Animation, but I love Pop as far as theming.
Yeah.
So let's talk amenities here. So busing, I would say, is equal at both. Would you not agree? I mean, they both have dedicated buses.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say buses is equal. And, if you're at a theme park and a bus pulls up for, one and it's going to be a while for the other one, I would get on the bus for the one because you can walk over. They've got that great pathway in the middle of the lake there. So Hourglass Lake. So yeah, I feel like they're equal as far as the busing goes. You're going to have the Skyliner there as well, which is going to be split. The actual station is found in the middle of the lake. So if you're staying, you just at either one, you can go right into the middle of the lake, which is right in the middle between the two resorts, and hit the Skyliner too. So that's kind of nice too. So, I feel like both are equal as far as transportation goes. Yeah.
This is to be honest, the Pop Century and Art of Animation have better transportation options than some of the buses, because the buses are better, definitely better at Pop Century and Art of Animation than like a Wilderness Lodge. I know it's crazy, but you also have Skyliner, so that's going to be something to think about. So let's talk dining real quick. Food courts basically the same, a little bit fancier at Art of Animation.
Yeah. Art of Animation, they typically have it's just a little bit elevated of dining. It's not much, but it's just a little bit different. Now I do feel like I've had some really great food at Pop Century recently, though. I mean, we ate there and on our trip, and I gotta tell you that the fried chicken there was one of the better meals that we had that trip, and the mashed potatoes and gravy, like that was really awesome. We had some really good breakfast at Pop Century as well. We did go over to Art of Animation for breakfast too, just to kind of, mix it up a little bit. I feel like Art of Animation's just a touch
silverware over there.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's what I was trying to pull up. I was trying to see my pictures of, if I couldn't remember if I had real silverware, if they brought in real silverware at Pop Century, but I can't find it now. So, oh wait, hold on. No, it was not real silverware. So yeah, they did not bring that over yet. So I
remembered like, oh, real silverware across the lake and not over at Pop. But you know what I mean? They both have basically like the stuff families, kids are going to like, young families. I mean, they don't have real fancy food, but it's fine. They have the pizza window. They have, your your like fried chickens, your
Yes.
burgers, fries, and they have,
Yeah.
they have like one window with like healthy things if you need it, but they also
They do.
good baked goods.
Oh, I will say though, Pop Century now has mobile order. So
True.
that is a
That,
huge perk. If
yeah.
you're in your room, you can go do the mobile order, and you can go pick up your food and then take it back to your room if you need to, which is always a nice thing too.
All right, so let's talk. So we've talked dining, we've talked transportation, we've talked theming. Let's get into the rooms. So, Ricky, break it down. Now, the family suites we're going to talk about last because that's something you can only get at Art of Animation, and that's huge because when you got a family larger than 4, a group of 6 can really fit well in a family suite, and it's going to be a decent value for you. You could also probably go 2 rooms at Pop Century. That's something you can think about. They're going to come about the same price. 2 rooms at Pop and a family suite. They're going to be probably within $50 a night of each other. Mm-hmm. But let's talk Art of Animation, Little Mermaid rooms versus Pop Century rooms right now, because that's kind of an equal comparison.
Yeah, and I know at Art of Animation they are starting to redo the rooms. I've recently saw online the rooms about the Lion King rooms. I think I saw Little Mermaid rooms were redone as well, or they're starting to. And they're making it the clean lines, the no bedspread. Doing kind of a wood floor type situation. I feel like it works just a little bit better at Pop Century. They have I don't think I haven't seen a room with 2. I don't think they have the pull down bed at our Art of Animation in the Little Mermaid rooms. Yeah, so they do have the pull down bed, which is nice. If you need a table, to work on, you can do that, or you can, you can just pull that down as a bed. That does get a little bit of a pain if you do need the table and then you also need the bed. I could see where that would be a little bit of a pain, but if you're like me and Brian and we're just together and we needed the table, we could leave the bed up and just have it as a table. This takes us back to the trip we were talking about it at the
show coming out soon from the
okay all right anyway, but I feel like what they've done at Pop Century as far as their rooms are concerned, they really did remodel them all together, versus I feel like they're just doing the soft goods kind of thing at Art of Animation right now. I mean, they completely redid the shower at Pop Century. It's a really nice shower now. They completely redid the vanity. There are cubby holes everywhere at Pop Century now, so there's plenty of places to store things. I feel like Pop Century wins as far as the room goes for sure.
100%. I love the rooms at Pop Century versus the Little Mermaid rooms. Also, they're going to come in a little bit cheaper. Now, here's the thing. 2020 pricing, Pop Century's jumped. And so is Art of Animation because they got the Skyliner and Disney's getting their money back there. So just be aware that you're not getting it for $99 a night like you did a few years ago.
Right.
I'm seeing prices over spring break like $230 a night for Pop Century. I know,
Yikes.
Moderate prices basically. So you just got to look though. I mean, there are, future, if it's not booked, there's going to be discounts. The best thing is lock in your room and hope for a discount. And you got up to 6 days if it's room only to cancel, or 31 days if you got a package.
Yeah.
You can always modify it to a different resort too. So real quick, what I would say as far as, let's talk about the family suites over at Animation. Okay. You can only get those there. It's a great option for families larger than 4. You have the Lion King, you have Cars, which are equally priced. You also have the option to book what's called just a family suite, which means Disney has the right to place you in either Cars, Lion King, or Finding Nemo, but you don't get to pick. So now, and also you can book the Finding Nemo suites, which are your more premium. It's like booking a preferred room at Pop Century. They're the most centrally located around the feature pool, the big blue pool. And so if you want to pay just a little bit more each night, you can be right in the center of the resort, Finding Nemo suites, but they do cost a bit more. So here's my pro tip on this one is that if you don't care between Cars, Lion King, or Finding Nemo, if you can book the family suite, the generic family suite category, you may get a Finding Nemo. You probably won't, but you may. I doubt it, but you never know. So Ricky, walk us through the family suites. Other than that, I'm just kind of giving a little information for folks that are considering.
Yeah. So the family suites, they typically have the bedroom where there's the one room, and then they have usually I think they have the table in another room with the pull down bed. They have a little kitchenette for guests to be able to use. They also have, I believe, a sofa as well in that main room. And then they have the bathroom. Each room is definitely themed to inside to each.
Themed.
Yes,
these things are like super themed,
and that's kind of one of the things that I don't like about these rooms. I feel like they're a little gaudy, to be perfectly honest. And I know that they're probably going to address some of this with these soft good refurbishments that they're doing. But I saw the Lion King one, and I still didn't love it. I thought the flooring that they used was really weird. I don't know whether it was, I couldn't tell whether it was carpet or some sort of tile, or I didn't like it. And I don't know. I still feel like these rooms are really gaudy to get across the point of the fact that they're themed rooms. It just, for some reason, these just don't work for me, the rooms in general. But if they work for your family, then the fact that they're suites is the big draw there. I mean, the design of the room and how it looks and whether it's gaudy or not, it's not, if you need a family suite, you need a family suite. So
I mean, these are the things. I mean, in Pop Century too, but not so much in the rooms. I mean, both of these resorts are for the true Disney fan, somebody that really likes the big icons. They like hit you over the head with, you're at Walt Disney World. You are having a Disney vacation. I will say that I really like the Cars family suites interior. It is a little.
It's the better of all of them. Yes, I will say it's the best of all of them. Yeah,
of all three, I like it best.
Yeah,
because it's not subtle at all. I mean, it looks like a toolbox.
No, it looks like everything threw up all over it. Yeah,
but it's cool. I mean, it's cool. The thing is, here's what I say about that kind of stuff. When people ask me, like you're staying in the room for like a week max. Who cares if it's gaudy? Like now you wouldn't buy a house that looks like a Cars family suite, but it's fun for a little while, and then move on. I think that's why you go to Walt Disney World.
No, I agree with you on that. I just, the style of these rooms have never appealed to me out of all of them. I feel like they did such a great job with the outside of these rooms, and then they went inside and they're like, yeah, we'll just throw some junk in there and have that be that. Like, I don't know. It just feels too much. You know what I'm saying? Like they just did too much to get the point across that these are themed rooms. So
themed.
I don't know.
But the thing is, like, and I think you kind of addressed that these were very much like 2000s and late 90s types, architecture or, decorated, where say, all these new rooms like Coronado Springs, the new Pop Century rooms, they're very clean lines. Like you get Disney touches, but it's not like bonking you over the head. And that'll probably happen to these suites. Maybe, I don't know.
And I'll admit, going into Pop Century for the first time since they redid the rooms, I was like, wow, it's a little stark in here. It's definitely a little.
Where's the Disney? Because
I mean, I definitely didn't think where's the Disney, but I did think that it was a little bare. I feel like there is a fine line that they did not touch at, between Pop Century and Art of Animation. There's a fine line and they haven't reached it. They went too far on the minimal side at Pop Century and they went too gaudy on the side of Art of Animation. And they just haven't reached the thin line that they need to hit to Disney enough, but not too plain, but not too gaudy. I don't know. That could just be me. So yeah,
they're both really good resorts. And I will say, just as we kind of wrap this up, it's going to be a shorter show. You've had 4 shows this week. We didn't want to go too long. I mean, really, if you think about it, it's kind of like one big value resort with 2 themes, and you got family suites on the one side. Yeah. And so that's kind of how you got to look at it. But if you're looking for practical advice, you're more likely to probably hit a discount over at Pop Century. If you're banking on a discount, like you're hoping for one, I would go to the Pop Century side if you're planning on that. But I will say, one of the rules that is held solid for the last decade is that when a discount comes out, you will not get a discount with the Little Mermaid rooms. Nope. We are seeing that in the last 6 months now.
Yeah. And I think part of that is the honeymoon phase of visiting the Little Mermaid rooms is over, and people who have stayed in the Little Mermaid rooms or have stayed at Art of Animation have done so by now. And so now we're getting into that point where they're like, well, these aren't as popular as they once were. So they are offering discounts. Again, as we said before, discounts are only offered when the rooms are not filling up. Those rooms were filling up like crazy at that time because A, it was a new resort, and B, it was the Little Mermaid. So those 2 things were really big reasons for it not to offer discounts. And now the discounts are coming out because it's been 10 years or something like that. So
they were so unique. I mean, because I think everybody wanted to check out the new resort, but I mean, a lot of folks didn't want to pay for a family suite.
Right.
So why?
Exactly.
Is there not a Little Mermaid room or Little Mermaid movie like remake coming out here soon?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Maybe that'll bring it back.
I mean, maybe. I just don't know. I'm not a big fan of all these live action remakes. So
I know they're like for everything. Like, okay.
I haven't seen Aladdin. I haven't seen The Lion King, and I don't know if I'm going to. I'll maybe see them when they're on Disney Plus. But I just don't really plan on seeing them in theaters. So
here's another discussion we had in our moving regarding Disney Plus. So we moved 2 VCRs from our old house to the new house. Okay, VCRs.
Yes, I have one.
So I tell Paige, seriously, why are we moving a VCR? She goes, because I have all those old box Disney movies from when I was a kid. I'm like, are those not all going to be on Disney Plus for like $6.99 a month? I mean, you can hit a button and boom.
They will. I mean, I have my VCR for old tapes that I haven't watched. But I just in case I want to watch
those things ever.
Just in case I want to watch them, I have my VCR because I can't get another VCR. They don't sell them, so I'd rather have it on the off chance that I need it than get rid of it. So yeah. I'm just saying. I would be smart. I maybe don't need 2, but I have one. So
yeah, she has one in her room. We have one in the living room. I mean, people come in, they think they're walking into like the Walton or something with a VCR.
Got it.
Sitting under our Blu-ray player, which we don't watch either.
I know. I have a Blu-ray and a DVD player. I don't watch either of those either. So yeah, times have changed, aren't they? Yeah.
When you move, you question everyone.
That's
like valid. A Blu-ray player, what's that weigh? Like 1 pound? I'm like, what? When's the last time we used this thing?
We didn't even buy our Blu-ray player. Somebody, one of Brian's friends gave it to us, and we still don't use it. So
anyway, well, that's going to do it for today. A little bit shorter show, but hopefully you enjoyed it. You know, we're going to continue this series as we go through the Disney resorts, comparing 2 resorts to each other. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at the Magic for Less Travel. So when it comes time for your next Disney adventure, work with the best. It's a platinum earmarked agency, and they're over at the magicforless.com. And if you mention the Be Our Guest podcast on that quote form, I'll be right there working with you. We're going to have a great time planning that next trip, whether it's to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or even Adventures by Disney. Support the Be Our Guest podcast and support the folks over at the magicforless.com. It's time for back to school. Buy those school supplies online. Go to amazon.com/ oh, no, don't do that. Go to beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon so that we get a little kickback from Amazon. It really does help support the show. You're going to get all your Prime benefits, cost you nothing extra. And, very simple. So again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Pod and at Be Our Guest Mike. And we've got a great Facebook page at facebook.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. All right, time to get out of here and let you get on with your weekend. We'll be back again on Monday with a great trip report to kick off your week the right way. But right now, it's the weekend. Let's go have some fun. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. Wish you a great weekend. But whatever you do, stay safe. And we'll see you real soon.
Yay.
All right. I'm going to edit this bad boy and you go have some fun for your anniversary.
All right. Bye, guys. See you later.
See you guys later. Ricky's going to anniversary dinner. Bye-bye.
Yay. Yum the steak. See ya. Bye.